Good evening, Western Washington. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather. Hope everyone's had a nice Sunday today. It's been a really hot day across the area, and we'll take a look at those temperatures in just a moment. Doing an afternoon video here so we can take a look at what's gone on today and what will be going on tomorrow. Got an interesting satellite loop here, so you can see some of these high clouds moving across parts of the area. Take a look at the Bear Gulch Fire producing a smoke plume today. Not very big, but it definitely is popping off a little bit again, and that is increasing that fire activity. We'll have to watch that over the next couple days. Also, it looks like we have a new growing fire here north of Hope, British Columbia, there along the Trans-Canada Highway on the Fraser River, so that is something to watch as well. Some of these fires across the Idaho Panhandle are getting some pyrocumulus clouds today, and you can see some monsoon moisture-related clouds happening here across parts of Oregon, some thunderstorms going on there in Oregon and Idaho, so that's interesting to watch as well. So taking a look at the current heat alerts, we again got that extreme heat warning for the lowlands of King and Pierce counties, along with the entirety of the foothills all the way up to the Canadian border, and then southwest Washington there from the Lewis County line down toward Portland. And you can see the heat advisory for all the areas in the orange from the Canadian border down toward the area between Everett and Seattle there, and then Kitsap Peninsula, Hood Canal area, southwest interior coast range, and some inland areas off the coast there. And then we have the red flag warning again in effect across parts of the Olympics and the Cascades. And one thing to note is that this extreme heat warning has been extended until 5 a.m. Wednesday, so another 24 hours added on there, and the heat advisory has also been extended to 5 a.m. Wednesday. This red flag warning is currently in effect until 9 p.m. tonight, but it may be extended based on some of the conditions, so we'll wait and see about that. Taking a look at current high temperatures as of 4:30 p.m. here on Sunday, you can see Shelton 93 in Olympia as well, 91 in Tacoma at JBLM, 90 at SeaTac, 89 there in downtown Seattle, 84 at Painfield, but 89 a little bit closer to downtown Everett. Moving north, you can see it is 82 in Bellingham, but 89 up there in Linden, and then 88 there around Mount Vernon. Even warm there along the northern strait of Juan de Fuca. You can see 85 there near Port Angeles, 94 near Forks, 81 at the Quileute Airport there. As we continue south along the coast, you can see it's cool on the beaches in the upper 60s, but 76 in Aberdeen, and then 80 north of Grays Harbor there. And then as we go down toward Portland there, you can see 95 at Portland International Airport and 88 there in Longview. So a pretty warm day across the area overall. Still quite hot, not as hot for some places as the last couple days here, especially down by Portland, but still very warm across the Seattle metro area. I mean, we're in the upper 80s, low 90s right now, so that is definitely on the hot side here. Even some mid 90s showing up there for parts of eastern King County, and 90 degrees looks like there at Snoqualmie Pass as well. So taking a look at our overall pattern here in the European model, see the dominant ridging here. That continues here over the next few days, all the way into Tuesday before it starts to break down a little bit. We get some troughing offshore going into Wednesday and Thursday. That's going to bring some thunderstorms to the Cascades, potentially eastern Washington, and maybe a couple trying to get out over the lowlands Thursday morning. We'll see if that happens or not. Confidence is not super high on that, so we have to watch it closely. And then going into next week, you can see that trough starts to push out of the area as we go into Friday and Saturday. And then we may have some troughing just to our north on Sunday, keeping us a little bit cooler. But take a look at some of this extended forecast here. As you can see going into all the way into next week, we may have more ridging going on to start September. So we definitely have to stay tuned to kind of just see what happens here with the forecast. The extended forecast is definitely uncertain right now. Taking a look at precipitation type, we can actually change this to look at lightning flash density. I think that's going to be a little bit more helpful. And go back to our extended run here. You see you get these monsoon-related thunderstorms across a huge portion of the western United States here each afternoon. But so let's zoom into the Pacific Northwest. And you can see here, Monday afternoon, you get some potential thunderstorms across the crest of the Cascades. Same thing happens there on Tuesday afternoon, Cascades and Olympics possibly. So we might have some really nice-looking clouds here across parts of the Cascades and the Olympics. And then going until Wednesday afternoon, you can see another day of those thunderstorms right there along the crest of the Cascades. And then take a look as we go into Thursday. Some of those storms a little bit more scattered. Some of them might try to move out over western Washington a little bit. And you can see some more potentially on Friday. And then Saturday, that kind of diminishes a little bit. But this is really not good to see the fact that this could start a lot of fires potentially based on just how much lightning we're looking at here. If we go back and look at, say, well, that's Wednesday right there. It looks like Wednesday afternoon. That's just a lot of lightning potential right there. So we have to watch this very, very carefully to see if this is going to be causing any new fires across the region and what will happen with those if it starts to warm up again into September. So then you can see here, taking a look at the high resolution rapid refresh forecast as we go into this afternoon, those highs will likely top out in the low to mid 90s for most areas, Seattle southward, mid to upper 80s for Seattle northward there, and then we will cool down going into this evening. But going here on Monday from Seattle northward, you have highs in the low 80s near the water, mid to upper 80s east of I-5. From Seattle southward, you have highs in the upper 80s to low 90s yet again, mid 90s around Portland, the coast again in the upper 70s. Inland there, and then the upper 60s to low 70s on the beaches. Tuesday, almost exactly the same, mid to upper 80s, Seattle northward, upper 80s to low 90s again, Seattle southward on Tuesday, mid 90s around Portland, and then mid 70s on the coast, upper 60s on the beaches. Going into Wednesday, we do start to drop those temperatures noticeably. You can see on Wednesday that highs Seattle northward likely in the upper 70s to low 80s, some areas in the mid 80s east of Everett. And then from Seattle southward, highs in the upper 70s to mid 80s, warmest away from the water there and in some of the valleys. And then around Portland, highs again in the mid 80s. But on Wednesday on the coast, you have highs in the mid to upper 60s with some areas getting towards 70. And then going into Thursday, we remain Seattle northward, mid 70s, low 80s, Seattle southward, low 80s again, and then around Portland, still in the upper 80s, coast in the in the upper 60s to low 70s there as we go into Thursday, and we remain in the same temperatures there across the region on Friday, cooling down a little bit more on Saturday. So stay tuned for more information on that. Taking a look at low temperatures here, you can see Monday morning again dealing with these really warm lows in the upper mid 60s here, upper 60s for Portland, and the coast getting down into the 50s, so that's good. It's cooling down a little bit, but we're still in the mid 60s for the Seattle Metro, upper 60s for the Portland Metro. Same thing on Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning almost exactly the same as well. By Thursday morning, we do start to cool down with those lows dropping to the mid 60s in Portland and the mid 60s still around Seattle. By Friday morning, you're back into the upper 50s to low 60s. So a few more warm nights coming up here, and that is why that extreme heat warning has been extended, just because of the combination of warm temperatures in the day and then those warm overnight lows that don't allow us to cool off too much. And then taking a look at relative humidity, take a look at this. Pretty dry again across the area this afternoon. That humidity down to 25 to 30% across western Washington, and low values in the mountains as well. And you can see that that will continue as we go into Monday afternoon here. We stopped that there around 5 p.m. there, 5 p.m. Monday. You can see humidity 20 to 30% again across areas from Seattle southward, low amounts across the mountains, Cascades, and Olympics as well. Part of why those red flag warnings are in effect is because the fire danger is just so high with this low humidity. And then just wanted to point that out again here, the Sailor Bar fires, that one to the north of Hope, British Columbia. Depending on how much this grows, it could be producing some smoke that may move into parts of western Washington. We'll have to watch that very closely. And then taking a look, of course, at the Bear Gulch fire here, you can see all these hot spots around the perimeter of the fire here. It's up to 8,700 acres, still at 13% containment. You can see some of those areas on the north side of the fire are what is burning the most today. So we'll have to watch that and see how it progresses over the next few days here. Likely going to have some more smoke across the region from this fire. And then taking a look at the smoke forecasts, there is some light amounts of smoke across western Washington today due to some smoke from the fires in Oregon and Idaho. As we go through the evening into tomorrow, you can see that smoke aloft continues at times and just lingers around the area over the next few days. But as we go into Tuesday there, you see heavy amounts of smoke aloft over Portland and southwest Washington, and some of that moving north toward western Washington, all off that fire in central Oregon there, the Flat Fire. So you can see there, southwest Washington, Tuesday morning, going to have some pretty smoky skies, and this forecast model output could change depending on the Bear Gulch fire and then the Sailor Bar fire up here near Hope, and just as those fires produce more smoke, that gets put into the model here, and it will show the areas that could potentially have some more smoke. So stay tuned for more information in tomorrow's video on the smoke potential. And then again, looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlooks into early September now, still looking like we're going to be above average in terms of precipitation for the Northwest, or in terms of temperatures and precipitation, sorry. So yeah, just kind of staying with that forecast we've been looking at for the last couple days, above average temperatures and above average precipitation. So stay tuned for more information on this as we go into the extended forecast. This could all change very quickly as well. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe here to Western Washington Weather. Got more videos coming up. And follow me on Blue Sky on Twitter and the Western Washington Weather Facebook group for the latest updates. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.